fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth a flow like Mount Kwakwa Tribe. Ooh. From Grenada to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now idle, let your heart pour out. Ooh. Oh, microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the air. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Shaman chant the blues, farmer hymn the real. Mama shares her wisdom, youths them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Ooh, yeah. Real up the truth selector, let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriaco shores to the Crater Lake deep. Real expression loud and the nation loves. Lyrics are a temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Ooh. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise, vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Real expression on 91.9 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. Read on the radio see. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth a flow like Mount Kwakwa Tribe. Ooh. From Grenada to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now idle, let your heart pour out. Ooh. Oh, microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the air. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Shaman chant the blues, farmer hymn the real. Mama shares her wisdom, youths them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Ooh, yeah. Real up the truth selector, let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. get elected. Real expression loud and the nation lost. Lyrics are a temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise, rise. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. In keeping with life, in keeping with love, we say good morning to you wherever you are at this particular point in time. Good morning to you, Chester. Let us pray.
Good morning to you, Mr. Nall, and to the listeners of Real FM. Gracious and eternal Father in heaven, we are grateful again for yet another morning that you have blessed us with, Father. The greatest gift that you have given to us, Lord, is life. And for this we are thankful. Father, we thank you for watching over us through the night and giving us a new day and new dawn. This morning, Father, we lift Real FM into your hands, and we want to thank you, God, for the many years you was able to carry the station, the management and staff. We want to thank you for Mr. Donald for the strength and the ability, Lord, to carry out this duty on a day-to-day basis, Lord, to inform us and, God, to give us information that we may need as we go through life. This morning, Father, we bring our nation into your hands. And blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Father, we pray for every citizen of this beautiful land. We bring our sick ones before you this morning, Father. Great physician, the sympathizing Jesus. We ask, God, for a move of you on those who are sick this morning. They might be in the hospital. They might be at home. So we bring them before you this morning, and we pray for a special touch on their behalf, Father. This morning, Lord, we pray for peace around the world. And God, we can only have peace through you, Father, because you are the Prince of Peace. This morning, Father, we give you thanks for your provision. We thank you, Lord, for the air that we breathe. We thank you for the rain that falls. We thank you for the sun that shines. Everything for existence, Lord, you have provided. So, Father, as we go through today, Lord, we ask by your Holy Spirit, Lord, that you take charge. God, we pray that everything that's going to be done will bring glory and honor to your name. We pray for all the workers of our nation, Father. Pray, God, that they will be able to carry the duties, Lord, in a very effective way, Lord, that our nation will be able to develop, Father. So we commit this day into your hands, Lord. We thank you again for the breath of life, the greatest gift that you have given to us, Lord. And Father, as we go through today, Lord, we commit our lives into your hands. Take charge, Lord. Let your will be done in our life. This favor as we ask. No other name But in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen and good morning. How you doing, bro?
Good for the time being, my brother.
All right, wonderful. How the children?
They're good for the time.
And the others outside?
Yeah. They are fine thus far.
All right, then take care of yourself, my brother.
Well, stay blessed.
All right, one love. This is Real 91.9, 91.5, www.realfmgrenada.com. Good morning, Grenada.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Angel's Beauty Salon and Barbershop, Bruce Street Mall, St. George's, your one-stop destination for all things beauty. Hair services, relaxes, waves, treatments, braids, cornrows, natural hairstyles, locks and lock installation, wig installation, nail services, acrylic nails, gel nails, pedicures, and more. Call or WhatsApp us today, 1473-403-4421 to book your appointment today.
Sunday, April 19, all roads lead to Progress Park in St. Andrew as Cash Frenzy presents Rides and Rolls. You can win 2 Suzuki Ignis, 2 cars, and $50,000 rolls of cash. Your ticket $60 for one, $100 for two. Bingo time 5 p.m. So get there early. Your DJs, DJ Taz, DJ John Boy, and hosted by Shortleg. All taking place at Progress Park in St. Andrew. $50,000 cash and 2 Suzuki Ignis. Sunday, April 19th. Progress Park in St. Andrew. Come win yourself some cash and drive in fine style.
So FastPay, on you an easy way to pay. So FastPay, so FastPay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So FastPay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. So FastPay, so FastPay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Woo! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free read. On the radio see. Whoa. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth that flow like Mount Quaqua Tribe. Ooh. From Granada to St. George's, the people them a shout. Real expression now idle, let your heart pour out. Ooh. Oh, microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the ear. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound will make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9. righteous reflection from the hills to the harbor. Hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom. Fisherman chant the blues. Farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom. Use them chant.
Let's take a shift in the morning at 14 minutes after Drumsticks. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to the nation. I read it from the word of God, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He lead me in the pathway of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is the end of the scripture reading this morning.
Thank you, my dear. Good morning. How was your weekend?
It was great. It was wonderful.
Great. Lovely to hear that. Take care of yourself. Have a great day.
You too. Have a nice day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
It's real. It's 91. Grenada, Grenada, Grenada.
Expression on 91.9 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Woo! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. Read the night for my night. On the radio, see. Whoa. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe, just the raw truth that flow like Mount Quack tribe. Ooh. From Grand Ends to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now, I'd let your heart pour out. Ooh. Oh, microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the air. Speak your truth, Grenada, wear your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Fisherman chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, use them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in at the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Real up the truth select and let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriaco shores to the Crater Lake Beach. Real expression loud and the nation lost. Lyrics are a temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Ooh. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise. Vibration 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada's voice rise.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is celebrating 15 years of its Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. Join us on the sister ad of Carriacou on April 19th from the Alexis Food Stores at 3:30 p.m. and mainland Grenada on May 3rd from the SSU Camp in Point Salines at 3:30 p.m. as we celebrate 15 years of saying yes to family, fitness, and fun. Register now. Get ready to pump it up with us. Individual packages are $25 and groups of 3 or more are $20 per package while stocks last. All proceeds will go to the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council. For more information, visit our website at grenadacoopbank.com or any of our retail banking units.
Come taste the tradition. Feel the rhythm.
Everywhere you turn, you see people smiling.
And celebrate the culture.
We don't see no green and red.
At River Sally Salaka, this is more than food. This is an experience. From the sound of the conch shell to firewood cooking. Enjoy the sights and the songs of Grenada's heritage drumming, dancing, and storytelling, which brings our culture to life. Mark the date, Friday, April 10th, from sunrise at 5 a.m. River Sally Salaka begins, and by 4 p.m., Salaka village comes alive with food, music, and culture. Bring the whole family and join the River Sally Salaka cultural experience, where food, music, and tradition comes together. River Sally Salaka, taste the culture, live the tradition.
Take me
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Siss.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Siss.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Siss. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Woo! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. A night for my night. On the radio see. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe, just the raw truth that flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe. From Granville to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now, idle, let your heart pour out. Microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM, the vessel, your message fill the air. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Shaman chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, use them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in at the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Real up the truth selector, let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriacou shores to the Greater Lake Beach. Real expression loud and the nation loud. Real is our
temple. The DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise. Inna the bass, real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Fill up the truth selector, let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriaco shores to the Crater Lake deep. Real expression loud and the nation loud. Lyrics are a temple. The DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise. Expression loud and the nation loud. Lyrics are a temple. The DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada's voice rise.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to
28 minutes after the 7 o'clock hour. Good morning to you, Trisha Miller at the Morris Bishop International Airport Meteorological Office, our morning forecaster. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you, listeners of Real FM. It's a partly cloudy morning here at the airport. Winds are from the southeast at 15 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1013.9 millibars, which is just above the mean, and it is rising. Present temperature 26.8 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 81%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 29.8 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature last night was 25.6 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, 1.2 millimeters of rainfall were recorded here at the MBIA. This brings the total for the month so far to 7.4 millimeters. Now the public forecast valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with a few light to moderate morning and nighttime showers. Winds easterly to east-southeasterly at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Today's maximum temperature is expected to get up to 30 degrees Celsius. Seas moderate to slightly rough, waves 6 to 8 feet in open waters. A marine advisory is in effect. Tides will be low around 1 p.m. and high about 7 p.m. Sunset this evening at 6:18. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:59. So just to recap, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with a few light to moderate morning and nighttime showers. From the Met Office, Trisha Miller.
Thank you very much, Trish, and do have a wonderful day, my dear.
Thank you. Same to you.
It's real. It's 91. Good morning, Grenada. How you doing? I'm doing fine. I like that melody, boy. Good morning, Grenada. How you doing? I'm doing fine. Oh, road match now. Yeah, man. You feel? Yeah, that could work. That could work as a road match right there. So we had the weather day from the Morris Bishop International Airport Meteorological Office, and none other than our good friend Trisha Miller. She was the one who gave us information as it relates to the morning weather. Well, that is valid for the next 24 hours. Yeah, valid. Them fellas wrong the moon, boy. Wonder what's the latest to them? Lord have mercy. People go real far now. What? They go on the next side of the moon now. They dark. Or the next side of the moon could be dark and this side of the moon is bright. But they real tying me up with this thingy, but I don't know. So God make moon? God make moon half dark, half bright? Lord, let me leave that one alone, eh? Uh-huh. Listen. And listen very carefully. Must be noted. Right? A lot of people, message me and wish me happy Easter and stuff like that. And I've had a bit of a bother with it, yeah. So I think not a bother with you messaging me. No, you could message me at any time. My thing with it is that I cannot understand why we are so happy about Easter when a man just dead for no reason. They kill man. No, I ain't talking about locally. Jesus, yeah, kill a man, nail a man on cross, excruciating pain before he dead. Juke him inside, put crown of thorns on his head. All them kind of thing, and then still we doing something about it. Happy Easter. And pleasant Good Friday and happy Good Friday and all kind of thing like that. No, something wrong with us. How we could be happy about them things? No, that had me real kind of puzzled, eh? And the next thing that to go with it, and I tell you what, I mean, I really here's what my the next thing that going with it is the fact that I believed it one time, and I've grown older, of course, and growing up I realized, but hold on, that is stupidness, that ain't making sense. Because we tying Easter with egg. I know where the egg come out. And we tying the Easter with rabbit laying egg. Yeah, Easter bunny, Easter egg. But how rabbit laying egg? Rabbit can lay egg? It's kind of... So I realized my head get kind of teeth. So hence the reason why I respect those who would send out and say Happy Easter. I cool, yeah. I respect you. You can do that. But ask yourself those questions. Rabbit could lay egg? That ain't really making sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. So based on those reasons, I ain't really follow the Easter thing, because I I just personally believe it's a myth. The rabbit can't lay egg. And you beat up a man and you kill him. You accuse him of thing that he didn't do, no. Beat him up, you kill him, you nail him on the cross, real pain, he dead. You say if he's king, look a crown, you give him a crown of thorns. And you kill a man. You kill the man, and then you come in and tell me about happy. That don't make any sense. Yeah, that don't really making sense at all. And then the other thing I have a bit of a bother with is that I can only speak for, at this time, friends in Grenada. Grenadians have a thing now, that, it's kind of thing. Grenadians have a thing now that they want to, it's like we is the partyist nation in the world, We the partyist nation in the world. So we want to party on the Thursday night that's leading into Good Friday, and we don't call it so. The night before the holiday. Night before my holiday, my foot. Just fret me that, Night before what holiday? Huh? All that to stop that. And we just try to understand why so many accidents and things happening, because God just turned his face on us and we're doing that thing. So all kind of stupidnness taking place. There was an accident by me in my days, but fortunately, no one got injured except the car. And maybe the ego of the guys who was driving an uninsured car. And that is the thing. Watch, let me tell you something. And let me get this thing straight. I'll come back to a couple of comments I say, like Brenda Phillips saying, how come Jesus became a bunny? I don't know. After they kill him, they say he did it for you and me. How is that possible? After they kill him, yeah, that is true. Yeah, Brenda. After they kill him, they say he died for you and me. Okay. Anyway, police. Yeah, people say, well, Andre, well, you need to congratulate the police me foot. Until the police start to do what they have to do and not congratulating the police. And until the hierarchy of the police realize that the traffic department needs a lot of beefing up and not congratulating the police. Until then, the police have to start doing better as it relates to one of the most important arms. I'm not saying the most important, but one of the most important arms of the police, which is traffic. Police are making monkey trick. Are they making monkey trick in truth? Seriously. Well, who doing that now? Who really doing that? I only know I ain't supposed to call me this time of morning, not to call me yet. Listen what it is. Simple. So many cars driving around. So many cars driving around. And these cars are not, a lot of these cars, they're not licensed, they're not insured. Or if they're licensed, they're not insured. Or if they're insured, they're not licensed. And the police are doing nothing about it. I can't do nothing, you can't do nothing. The police have to do something. Watch. 90% of the bikes that are passing in front of the police, they're not licensed and insured. Seriously? 90% of the bikes that pass right in front. You ever see the police really stop a bike and say, hey, let me see your license and insurance? You ever see that? You don't see that. It's like bike not on the list. You understand? So that's breaking the law. And when I break the law for not wearing a seatbelt, you want to kill me. And bike passing in front, you want to run you over and you ain't saying nothing. Do you understand? Come on. Cars, and what you know those cars, you see those cars passing in. It is okay. The law gives you the right to stop a vehicle and say, hey, driver, may I please see your driving license? May I see your insurance for your vehicle? Because you don't have to ask them for the license of the vehicle. The disc is right there, visible for all to see. So I just want to see your driver's license. I want to see your insurance. And you see this foolishness about that giving you 24 hours or 48 hours to bring it in the nearest police station? Hell no. Let us stop that. Hell no. What 24 and 48 hours to bring it in the nearest police station? To me, suppose the nearest police station to me is in Karakou. Huh? Suppose the nearest police station to me is in Karakou. Come on, man. Better stop that shit. We had to modernize the thing. Or they're just making a monkey of the whole thing and just or let us stop that police. Or let us do the work. Or they will say they ain't paying all, you know. That's what they will say. They ain't paying me to do that, you know. Or they ain't paying you to do that. Good for you. Take a break. If a guy you have to bring in on a special program this morning. So let me take a break. I'll be right back. This is Real FM. Stay with us.
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500, and our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visually, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at Chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Flow makes your next phone upgrade easy. Add postpaid to your internet plan and score a Samsung Galaxy for as low as $30 a month. It's the smartest way to an interest-free premium phone upgrade. Don't let anything stand between you and that new phone feeling. Step into your upgrade with confidence. Visit us in store and sign up today. We keep your rhythm flowing. Terms and conditions apply.
Come taste the tradition. Feel the rhythm.
Everywhere you turn, you see people smiling.
And celebrate the culture.
We don't see no green and red.
At River Sally Salaka, this is more than food. This is an experience. From the sound of the conch shell to firewood cooking. Enjoy the sights and the songs of Grenada's heritage drumming, dancing, and storytelling, which brings our culture to life. Mark the date, Friday, April 10th, from sunrise at 5 a.m. River Sally Salaka begins, and by 4 p.m., Salaka village comes alive with food, music, and culture. Bring the whole family and join the River Sally Salaka cultural experience, where food, music, and tradition comes together. River Sally Salaka, taste the culture, live the tradition.
Take me
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is celebrating 15 years of its Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. Join us on the Sister Ad of Carriacou on April 19th from the Alexis Food Stores at 3:30 p.m. and mainland Grenada on May 3rd from the SSU Camp in Point Salines at 3:30 p.m. as we celebrate 15 years of saying yes to family, fitness, and fun. Register now. Get ready to pump it up with us. Individual packages are $25 and groups of 3 or more are $20 per package while stocks last. All proceeds will go to the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council. For more information, visit our website at grenadacoopbank.com or any of our retail banking units.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada.
Whoa! Tuning on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. A night for my night. On the radio see. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe, just the raw truth that flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe. From Grand Anse to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now, I let your heart pour out. Microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM, the vessel, your message fill the air. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound when make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound when make freedom ring. Shaman chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, youths them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Nutmeg in the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Real up the truth selector, let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriacou shores to the Crater Lake deep. Real expression loud and the nation loves. Lyrics are a temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise, vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada's voice rise.
Good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Caricut and Petey Mutnik too. How you doing? Here's hoping that you have a wonderful day. I'm supposed to be joining the guy this morning, but unfortunately his I don't know, he needs to give me some more light in the in that settings. And it's a bit dark there. I don't think I cannot lighten it up anymore. So you'd have to give me some more light in that setting. And then we'll get the light in the setting, then we'll get it going. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. It's the 7th day of April. It's the 7th day of April. Well, why is it his face is not lit? Yeah, we're having problems with seeing his face. I don't know. I guess you want to lean back in chair and play bright. But if he leans forward a bit, if he comes forward a bit, we're seeing the face a lot clearer. But leaning back in a chair and play like he's old King Cole with a merry old soul. Yeah. Well, we'll try, and if we'll try it and see how it works. But here am I. Yeah, a lot of people complain this morning. Andre, we only hearing you, not seeing you. Fred and Twine, good morning. How you doing, my brother? Gemma Wall down there in Grand Dance. Yeah, Andre, we only hearing you, we're not seeing you. Well, I wasn't ready for you to see me yet. Yeah, I wasn't ready for you to see me yet. I was kind of doing a number of things. Yeah, and I just had to get them done. But still a bit dark. Yeah, a bit dark is that shot from our guest this morning. That might do it. It's just at the other side. We'll see what happens. Let me see. Again, a couple of messages. Let me just check them quick. And okay, right. Not seeing me. Let me say good morning and congrats. Before I go to our guest, while he sort out his darkness, a creature of the night he might be. Anyway, but before I go to my guest, let me say good morning and congratulations to Team Grenada, to all the athletes, not just Team Grenada, all the athletes from all the islands who came to Grenada, had a wonderful Easter weekend. Most of you leaving today and tomorrow. Well, I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you would remember good Grenadian hospitality, because I know the folks at the hotels, the various hotels, would have come out and done well. To the officials of the games, hey, you, from where I sat at my home, of course, you seem to have done a wonderful job. Congratulations to all the officials of the games. And here's hoping that you can go on and do better and you're called up on the regional level. Kerfta. Yeah, Kerfta. There's a kind of thing, yeah. Call my guest. I'm coming to you. Yeah, you look a lot better now. Don't know if it's gonna hold, but you look a lot better. Carfare, that kind of thing. But anyway, I have my hiccups with Kerfta. And it had nothing to do with the Grenada taking and doing Kerfta when they weren't supposed to take it at all. We will talk to that another time. Yeah, we will talk to that another time. But it's just that I have my hiccups with Kerfta, and I cannot see us spending taxpayers' money like that, and then still we have to spend hundreds of dollars to go in. Money to going on tree, and things done bad in Grenada already, and cheapest ticket is what, about $70-something? Are you kidding me? I know. You say, hey, well, things cost and things cost. I don't pay for it already. My tax dollars don't pay for that already. I'm not saying to let me in free, but I'm just saying to you, when you look at it, and you need to have special price for family of 3 and family of 4 and them kind of thing. Yeah, because you might have one child in the whole family and it's a family of 5. Mother, father, you understand? Brother, sister, and then the little brother taking part in the birthday game. So, it's a family of 5. So it's 4 of them have to spend to come in, to see their son, to see their other, their brother run, and the cousins and all kind of thing. And then we ain't even taking that into consideration. We just talk that kind of price thing there, and that I have a problem with. Even with intercall, I have a problem with that, Yeah, man. Even with intercall, I have a problem with that. Once you have someone taking part in the games, I believe that there should be a certain level of concession. There should be a certain level of concessions if they're buying tickets in mass to go to the games. That's another. And another thing, I'm hearing this. I'm going to check it out by tomorrow. But annoying, you are talking to you with this one now, annoying. I'm hearing annoying that children were only given 1 ticket. I'm hearing, I don't know that for a fact. I'm hearing annoying are putting that one at your footstep. Children were only given 1 ticket. So when you give them the 1 ticket, who they give them, mother or the father? Huh? Who they giving the ticket? Who the ticket for? How they come in this world? If you make a children on your own, that's your business. But in our part of the world, which you're not part of, we know that it takes 2 to tango, 2 to make a child. Do you understand? How you could give them 1 ticket? If that is true, annoying, that's a big mistake, You lose with that, You lose with that. And you don't lose already because Lady Glow or Sister Glow that turned on the light. She that glow the lights and you wasn't there. Ha 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 ha. You does. Yeah, but annoying. If it is a fact that y'all gave 1, and somebody go tell me, Chimney Hill, investigate that for me. Somebody go tell me if that is true. Or they give 1 ticket to a child. The child and mother and father, I ain't talking about brother and sister and whatever. They got to find money to pay. But the child and mother and father, all they believe a parent of the child own, knock on wood, dead already. What's chopping is all they getting on it? Huh? Tell me, is it true that you all gave only 1 ticket to the family? But anyway, we ain't talking that this morning. I want to bring on a different perspective. I have 2 things. One for this morning, one for tomorrow morning, but they both linked. But this morning, I want us to have a look at a topic I've been passing over like the Passover for a very long time. And I decided, since last week, I decided that, hey, this program we have to do this program. Has to be done. So I spoke to the guy, and he was able to accommodate me this morning to have a discussion on the program. So to all my viewers, good morning to you, and thanks for viewing. I've got it in store for you this morning and tomorrow morning, God's will. Let's say good morning to our friend Stan Phillip. Good morning, Stan. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Donald. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You want to keep Stan? What's up with your what's up with your face, Stan?
What's wrong with my face?
I didn't say anything's wrong. I said what's up with it? What's up with the beard and things, Danny?
Oh no, I have started growing my beard.
Your bed? Your bed? They put you out there to get the next bed?
Beard. B-E-R-D.
Oh, beard. Okay, I thought they put you out there to get the next bed.
And my mustache. I didn't trim it this morning, so it might be looking a bit unruly. But yes, I am. I want to look my age now.
Look your age?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to look my age. People have been quarreling with me when I tell them my age. They're not seeing it. So I said, look, let me stop getting into this fight about no, you're not that young. So
well, I don't know why people I don't know why people have to do so and see my age. My age is my age. My age is not theirs.
Yeah, and by the way, you probably might notice I'm not in my office today. Else you'd have seen a nice white background and the lights would have been good.
I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was just saying that you're in a different corner in the office.
Yeah. No, I'm not in my office this morning.
Where are you today, brother?
I'm at home. I'm on my.
Oh, you're at home. You're at home.
On my desk.
You're on your desk at home. Okay, I need to fix my camera a bit.
I'm on my desk in my bedroom.
Oh, you're in your desk in your. How's the wife, Stan?
She's fine. She's fine. She's retired and enjoying retirement.
Okay, and your son. Children. Let me just put it. Children.
The one in China is fine. He's living in China, married and has one child. The others are all here. The other 4 are here, so they're doing fine.
Okay, but Stan, married and living in China, has one child. Is that child a Chinese?
Interestingly, Andre, they gave them, I think it was 2 months to get his Grenadian passport in order for him to remain in China. If he didn't get it, he would have been deported. Or she, sorry, would have been deported. When you're born in China, you can only be a Chinese citizen if you're born of Chinese parents, right? So she was born in China, but they had to find her documents in order for her to remain in China. So they had to apply for a passport, which we did, and we sent it up to her. So she's now a Grenadian living in China.
I am happy that you said that, Stan. I'm very happy that you said that because, and I know a number of people want to kill me for saying this. It's the same thing that Donald Trump doing. There's nothing different. Because what the Chinese are saying, you have to be of Chinese parentage.
Yes, that's what they're saying.
To be a Chinese.
Be a Chinese.
Right?
Yes.
Good.
It's not automatic.
Good. It's not automatic.
No.
So females getting pregnant here, and when they reach in year 10, year 9, year 10, they run in America, make a child, and they want the child to be American.
You see, because the American Constitution allowed for that.
Right. I'm saying yes, but it does not speak to be madness if Donald Trump wants to change it.
No. In fact, China is not the only country that
Exactly.
has that. There are a number of countries, there is no automatic citizenship. You have to, in fact, even with the CBI program, a number of countries do not give you citizenship just like that. You have to stay in the country for a number of years to qualify, so yes, so that's how it is.
You see, and somebody hop on it already, What we just spoke about, somebody hop on it and say, what Donald Trump is saying is not wrong. They messaged me pling and said that.
Yeah, well, like I said, every country have a right to determine who becomes a citizen.
You want to kill Donald like if Donald's speaking something wrong. Donald saying no automatic citizenship.
He's upsetting the apple cart.
Yeah.
I saw on the news yesterday that there's a lady who was traveling from Trinidad and Tobago to New York. I gave birth on the aircraft. I guess she was trying to get to the United States so that her child would be a U.S. citizen. Because the child was born in the aircraft. I don't know how they'll treat that one. But there are a number of people who live
with the child being born in the aircraft, Stan, the child has to be declared based on international law. Then the child
international citizen.
Well, yeah, but no, the child is like a citizen of the country where the flight lands.
Where it lands. That's why she was going to the United States, so maybe she'll qualify. But it's interesting. If I was the parent, I would claim international citizens. I want a passport from every country over which we flew.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I was chatting this morning, Stan. Before we get into the thing, I was chatting this morning about Easter bunny and Easter egg and all kind of thing. And I am not into Easter. Are you into Easter?
The holiday part. I love the holiday.
You love the holiday and nothing else.
Nothing else. I mean, I understand the season and so on, but you know, I don't get too worked up about these feast days.
All right. So anyway, let's jump into it, Stan, because next time we figure out that we don't have much time and realize that we wasted some time on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump right into it. I am going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer that question for me straight up. What is NHI, Stan?
Well, NHI is a system whereby persons are locked into a program that ensures that if they get sick, they would not be left vulnerable. There will be a program where they can access care at the time of need, and it should not be a burden on their pockets. In a nutshell, it's a financing system for health. So people who need health care would not be disadvantaged because they do not have the money. So NHI is like a system where monies are put together. In the event that you need care, you tap into those resources to get the health care. In a layman's term, I'm not going to go into dictionary or definition of it. So it's actually a health financing system.
And who benefits? Everybody?
Well, it is supposed to be for everybody. Like I said, the generally private health insurance takes care of those persons who can afford to pay for it. And recognizing that there are a number of persons who cannot afford to buy private health insurance, NHI is for the masses of people, because these are the ones who generally cannot afford procedures, medical procedures, etc. But you see, I thought you'd have started by asking that question, and my intention was to tell you don't start with that question, because it kind of takes people to the point where they're wondering whether or not that is something good or bad. NHI is not free. In fact, healthcare is not free; it's expensive, and NHI, which is National Health Insurance, is like any other insurance program, which has to be funded and has to provide benefits to the persons who are making the contributions. And in every country where NHI is being used, people make contributions. It's not something that you get for free, except in the Arabic countries where the states provide many things, including health insurance. In fact, I was looking at a documentary yesterday where a guy said, I think it was in one of the UAE countries. Once you get married, you get a start of about $70,000 US. The state gives you money to begin your life, right? So apart from the other benefits, you get monies to start your life. We're not that fortunate in this part of the world. So Canada has NHI, has a form of universal health insurance. The UK has it. United States doesn't have it. Ghana has it. A number of other countries, the Far East has it. But the Caribbean, there are three known countries, I would say. Turks and Caicos, BVI, and Bahamas to a certain extent has attempted NHI. So Grenada has been talking about NHI since 1995. and
Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, and
British Virgin Islands.
And am I correct to suggest, if I'm suggesting, Stan, that these three countries were British colonies?
I know BVI is Turks and Caicos British. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Sometimes I get confused whether they're British or American. I'm not too sure about Turks and Caicos. I know BVI definitely is British. Yes.
I say that on the premise that you stated a short while ago that the United States does not have this, but it is available in Canada and in England, correct?
Yeah, you see, the whole thing about health insurance, the United States health is a business, right? So it is against the powerhouses, the insurance companies and the other entities that deal in healthcare. It is not to the benefit for the United States to introduce national health insurance. There have been talks about it. It has been ongoing for years. I know Bernie Sanders is one of those persons who push that heavily. But the big players in the States do not want national health insurance because it would go against the...
Why are you talking about Bernie Sanders? That is nobody.
I'm just mentioning...
But he's nobody in the politics,
okay, yeah, but I'm just saying he's one of those persons that
but he's nobody.
He's champion national health insurance. And it's unfortunate though, Andre, the most powerful country in the world has been struggling for years to introduce national health insurance. And that is because of the power politics.
I don't believe that they're struggling. It's just that the as you just said, the power politics. These companies, these people, these conglomerates, they know that if it goes like that, then they cease to make the kind of money that they're making. So they're going to block it. And anyway, they're not struggling. They're struggling to make sure it don't happen. Not that it happens.
So Grenada jumped on the bandwagon in 95. As I said, that's the first time I think there's a documented information regarding NHI in Grenada. You may have known, I'm sure you know Kennedy Roberts. He was at the time working in OECS. And I think it's important for us to just give a background of NHI in Grenada before we go in depth into what we want to talk about. Because he came back from the OECS and he was one of those who was championing the introduction of national health insurance. So he was made chairman of the first National Health Insurance Advisory Committee, right? Between 1995 and I think 1998. I don't remember exactly what year. And unfortunately, Andre, I was invited to sit on that committee way back then. So my involvement with NHI goes back to 1995. And I remember writing my first paper in 1998, 99 towards NHI in the year 2000, right? I still have that paper that I wrote. I kind of stole from Dominica, who was going in that direction too, and they had a program. So I kind of looked at it and tweaked it a bit. But suffice it to say that nothing much happened between 95 and 2008. I'm calling those, and you notice almost each of the years I'm calling, elections were held, right? So the only thing that I think was done by that 1995 committee was an industry assessment. That's just to assess the insurance industry in Grenada. When the NDC came in office in 2008, they formed another NHIAC committee, that's National Health Insurance Advisory Committee. Chester Humphrey was asked to chair. Of course, I was not chosen to be on that committee, and you know why. So that committee did a pre-feasibility study that was done in 2012, and Professor Theodore from the UEH Health Education Unit led that study, and that name is going to come up in our discussion today again. So they did a pre-feasibility study. Of course, in 2013, when the election was held, a new National Health Insurance Advisory Committee was formed. So there was one in 95, one in 2008, and one in 2013, right? Again, I was asked to serve on that committee, We had people like Anne Antoine, Dr. Bud Bradford, Dr. Paul from SGU, Dr. Barry McBurnett, I think is his name. Dorset Cromwell was on that committee. So that committee, and it's not because I was on the committee, I'm going to say this, but that committee did the bulk of the work on NHI, and we drew up a concept paper that gave project timelines and the documentation. So the concept paper was presented to cabinet in 2015. So we said this is what we did, and specific recommendations were made in a presentation in May 2025. And one of the recommendations made was that we should set up an NHI secretariat. A lot of things happened in between, but I'm not going to go into much detail. One of the recommendations we made to cabinet then was that we need to find monies if we want to do NHI. So we have to set up a secretariat, we'll have to get grant funding, etc. So your humble servant started writing grant requests. And Mr. Albert Brown, he was in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, assisted, and we got a grant from IBSA, India, Brazil, South Africa. They gave a grant of $672,000 US dollars. And the money was intended to support the secretariat and to begin the work of establishing NHI. UE was contracted in 2018 to do that. And they had 1 year to do the work. They completed it. And the secretariat was established under the NIS, right? Unfortunately, that secretariat was closed in 2019. And again, I don't want to go into details, but one of the things that UE said when they came into work is that we need a group to work along with us, so that when we finish at the end of the year, the program can continue. But that wasn't done. In fact, in my humble opinion, Andre, NIS has never been interested in NHI, and I hold that position strongly, and I made it public before. So if you're not interested in something and it's happening around you, you just let it happen. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, but it's kind of strange here, Stan, because you're telling me, okay, fine, that you stand by a statement that NIS was never interested in NHI. But how NIS is a local body, is a Grenadian body, belongs to the Grenadian people. How could you not be interested into something?
Well, the thing is, NIS is about social security, pensions, disability benefits, etc. That's a forte. That's what they are for. NIS is NHI is a separate baby altogether, and that has been their position. And I sat in a meeting with the director of UNDP and the then director of NIS, and he told the UNDP director in a face, "This is not our baby. We were just given this, right?" And she turned to me and the PS at him and said, "Well, guys, if that is what is being said, I'm not sure how far you get with this." And I knew from the start that we would not have gotten very far with NIS in the driving seat. I mean, they have their own issues they have to deal with, but it was felt that because they are a state organization, they have to do what the state says. But you see, there are two different things. National health insurance and social security are two separate things. So, I mean, I can't fault them for not wanting it, but I felt they could have been honest and say, look, if you give us this thing, we wouldn't take it far. But they took it and they dropped the ball in 2019 when the secretariat was closed after you did all the work, and things were just sitting there. The Ministry of Health decided to take it back under the wings. And by the way, I was not involved in the secretariat. They skillfully got me sidelined on that, but that's another matter. But when it came back to the Ministry of Health and the UE proposal was looked at, it was felt that we should take this a bit further. And that's when JIPA was awarded a contract in 2019 to take us to the next level. Of course, COVID came in 2020, and things slowed down a bit. So
a bit or things just stopped. Come on, let's be correct here, Stan.
Yeah. Okay. Things. Well, the thing is, the work that had to be done could have been done in the background. Honestly,
Could have been done, but work stopped. COVID stopped. COVID stopped everything.
COVID stopped everything. So in 2021, the government again tried to reactivate things, and then election came in 2022, and then the handbrakes was pulled up. You see.
So then it stopped again.
Yeah. I know that the current administration spoke a lot about NHI in the campaign, and it was expected that they could have taken this on. Well, they did actually mention NHI in the first budget. They decided to re-engage JIPA. That's a company that the NNP had contracted. So they re-engaged them in 2023 because it was read in the 2022 budget. And then I think in 2024. So you got 2 contracts. I just felt that the amounts they were putting in the budget was insufficient. They did like 1.5 million EC dollars or whatever. Anyway, so that's what happened. So we started hearing less and less about.
But didn't the Minister for Health make a statement on NHI?
Well, that's what I was getting to that.
Yeah, but I have that clip. Do you want me to play it?
I think you should. I think you should play that clip.
Let's listen to what the Minister for Health had to say about NHI.
NHI. Spend a little time on that, just a few minutes. So we have engaged the Dr. Theodore from the retired professor from UWI to assist us, as well as the National Insurance Board, with the view of having the NIB work alongside our colleagues from the University of the West Indies to develop NHI for the benefit of the people of Grenada. I will give you some information on that. Right. So as part of the work, we will have to set up a committee that looks at the implementation of national health insurance. So we are going to coordinate and develop the legislative framework around the implementation of NHI. And again, NHI is not a very simple baby. It is a fairly complex matter. However, we are tapping into the available expertise that are available to help us to develop a framework that works for us here locally. Also, the consideration of the financing framework. How do we finance NHI? How do we finance it? So we're going to be looking very closely at that. Then the public education aspect, national public education drive for us to understand why and how. Why NHI and how it's to be implemented. So that's going to happen. And also the technical support is going to be part of that. So we are going to set a board in place for that purpose to monitor and evaluate the provision of policy, guidance, and direction. We are also going to have a technical advisory group that is going to be advising on the how we implement the NHI. And also we're going to have a tripartite group which is going to look at how we approve the entire process of that. So these are schematics. Hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll be able to supply most of this to Cabinet for consideration and subsequent approval. I'm just telling you some of the things that we've been looking at. So we are going to have a secretariat with a project lead, a project head that is going to be heading that, a communication specialist to treat with, similarly as we've done under the statutorization, that will treat with all of the consultation and public education and so on. And of course, a secretary to handle most of the work. So we have things about 6 or 7 key deliverables that we will seek to deliver. The design specification of the NHI, what it's going to look like, what the final product is going to look like, how it's going to be affecting the people, what kind of benefits will come to us, and how are we going to claim and all of that. So also the organizational chart, how the governance structure is going to be handled. A feasibility study on the NHI is also going to be undertaken to ensure that whatever is going to be delivered is fit for purpose and can be afforded. And also the macro economic review. We've done one already, so we have to do a revision of that to ensure that the macroeconomics still applies in the context and that the change we are able to cope with and finance. Drafting of the legislation, the policy document and legislation, and also the technical support for the implementation and the carrying on, especially during the transition stage. So we're going to have that as part of the deliverables. And so in a nutshell, that's what it's going to be.
What is the current progress on it?
Mr. Donald, I want to find out from you. You listened, it's about 4 minutes. You listened to the
5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay, to the Minister of Health. As someone who probably don't know as much as I know about what has been done, what is your first impression based on what you're hearing?
If he had to be graded and be given the position as Minister for Health as it relates to his delivery there, he would not have been a minister. Because trust me, I did not hear anything that led me to believe that he was saying something.
Well, you see, interestingly, Andre, it's obvious that the minister is not aware.
He's not aware
of what has been done so far, with regards to NHI. I told you that I've heard the name Professor Theodore again when I started.
Yeah, you heard that first.
Yeah. No, UE was paid $325,000 to do everything that the minister spoke about have already been done. Right? UE was paid, they came in, they did a thorough analysis, and they submitted reports on everything the minister spoke on. So it baffles me to hear the minister talk about engaging UE. We all paid him $224. The same Professor Theodore is the one who led the group here. Everything, legislative framework, financing, public education, technical support, all of those things have already been done, right? So why are we bringing UE back in? Or Professor Theodore, retired now. What are we bringing him back to do? The legal framework, we have 2 sets of legislations that have been drafted.
Was UE brought back in?
Well, no, he mentioned it, that they will be. I don't know if they have.
But what were they brought back in? Stan,
I don't know.
It was just a whole smoke screen kind of thing to pretend that they're doing something. They weren't doing anything. That's
why I think the Grenadian people should know that if they're bringing him in gratis, right? If they're bringing him in gratis, then fine. But why pay for something that has already been done. I'm talking about documentation. Andre, there are piles and piles of reports that you will submit it, ready to be actioned, right? But what it appears to me is as though, because we've been hearing mention about NHI in every budget, right? And then in 2024, I think, the person that the company that they was telling us is going to lead to the launch of NHI, that's JIPA, was fired. Prime Minister came on radio and said that they terminated the contract with the group, right? Now, this statement that was made by the minister was made after JIPA was terminated. It was made in a town hall meeting last year, right? So that's recent news. So the JIPA was supposed to work with what UE did. And of course, they introduced some new elements to it. They were terminated. And we were told then that a group would be formed to take this thing forward. The minister made no mention of that group that the prime minister spoke to when UE was terminated. Right? But we've been told now that we'll bring back Professor Theodore to do everything that he did before, right? And it is unfortunate because it is clear to me that there is no timeline for the launch of NHI. And I don't know if you have a clip from the Prime Minister who spoke to that. You see, it's important for us to talk about NHI now, because when asked about the financing of the new hospital, NHI was used as one of the, it was said that NHI will be one of the entities that's going to finance the new hospital. And I don't know if you managed to get a clip from the Prime Minister.
Well, interestingly, I do, because those are the two clips that as a matter of fact, Stan, I don't know if the government would have spoken at other times about NHI, but those are the two clips I was able to find in relation to the government speaking. One with the Minister of Health virtually saying nothing. Yes. Let's take in what the Prime Minister had to say about NHI.
What is the current progress on implementing the National Health Insurance NHI? Additionally, when will the Ministry of Finance building be renovated so employees can return, helping to reduce government spending on rental properties?
All right, so I'll take the National Health Insurance question first. We are still very much in the design and concept stage of treating with the National Health Insurance, so I can't give a definitive date of when it will be implemented, because you'd have to design, you will then have to consult, we will then have to pass legislation, we'll then have to agree on how it is to be funded, and we'll have to agree on what services are to be covered. We are working with a timeline in light of Project Polaris, because we want to be in a position where the National Health Insurance can start by the time the new hospital comes online, because we want to be able to fund some of the services that the public will be able to access at the hospital via the National Health Insurance scheme. So that is where we are.
Stan Phillip, hold on. What did the Prime Minister just say?
Well, you heard in Project Polaris. Working with the timeline of Project Polaris. No, you see.
But like how does Project Polaris support the objectives of the NHI?
The countries that have successfully launched NHI. The countries that have successfully launched NHI had a hospital system in place. Right?
Oh, and by the way, before you go on, BVI British, Bahamas British, and Turks and Caicos definitely British. All British. So that should tell you something. Mm-hmm. That would speak a lot, because they're following, quote unquote, their mother country, their motherland. Sort of thing. Yeah. So right. Yeah. Go ahead.
So all Turks and Caicos and BVI statutorized their hospital, right? Mm-hmm. So NHI was used as the tool to finance the statutorized hospital. Okay? So when people go to these hospitals, NHI paid the bills. Okay? So Project Polaris is pointing us to a new hospital. So the Prime Minister was responding to the notion that one of the ways that the new hospital will be funded is with NHI. Now, I'm asking myself, if NHI is going to be on the financing vehicles for the new hospital, why are they supposed to be launched at the same time? He said it in the clip that NHI and Project Polaris, they're twins, right? So the tool that has to pay for me is coming out of the womb the same time that I'm being born. How is that going to work, right? What was also interesting is that he went back to the whole question of designing and consulting. These things, Andre, have already been done.
That's what I'm saying. We already did all
the
of that.
documents have already been prepared, right? So I can't figure it out. And I said to a friend of mine, I just don't understand it. Because to me, NHI would have been one of the vehicles that this government could have used to appeal to the people to vote them back, in my opinion. They had an opportunity to at least begin the program. The project sponsor of Polaris told us 3 years to build the hospital, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's saying that
She said that they're there in 2026 and they'll be there in 2029 to cut the ribbons.
Okay, so based on what the Prime Minister said, that's when NHI will be launched in 2029, right? So between now and 2029, the issues we have regarding healthcare would remain. Because, you see, Grenada has a very, and people don't want to admit it, but Grenada has a very well-established health system, right? When I say well-established, what I mean is that our primary healthcare system is top-notch, right? I mean, the issue of managing and sustaining is another matter. But in other countries, you walk into a hospital and you need care. And if you don't know how you're paying for it, you're going to be staying right there. Jamaica is one of the countries. If you go into a hospital in Jamaica and you don't have money, you'll be sitting out there, not being cared for. We have to trim ours and update it, but we have the basis is there. The point I'm making is that we have a basis to start. When Bahamas launched NHI, they launched NHI, and the phase one was primary health care. We're already there. Secondary care is hospital, then tertiary care is overseas. Now, I've said before, and I'm saying it again, if we go into NHI and we still have to have people going around on Saturdays on a truck trying to raise funds to send somebody overseas for care, we're not making any sense. One of the things that was done when we were pursuing that program is that we visited, in fact, myself and the then CMO, Dr. George Mitchell, went to Colombia. I went back to Colombia with Dr. Dragon, right? We visited probably 127 different hospitals while we were over there. Because I don't know if you know that Colombia has one of the best tertiary care institutions, network in the world. And it's relatively inexpensive. So the plan was to use the hospitals in Colombia for overseas care. So what we can provide here, we send our people to Colombia. They get it done at a fraction of the cost. NHI would have done that. So we had MOUs drafted for certain hospitals in Colombia that have taken care of that, right? So it's not that we did not recognize that there's need for an expansion in the services provided, but you can't do everything with a limited budget, right? And that's why I keep asking myself, if we have sat and thoroughly thought about this Polaris thing, our numbers are limited in terms of possible patients. Every other country in the Caribbean is trying to upgrade their health systems. And if somebody from Dominica or somebody from St. Lucia has to choose between Grenada and Colombia, the numbers would show that they're better off going to Colombia. A friend of mine did a hip replacement surgery in Trinidad. When he told me how much he paid, I showed him a document where he could have paid 1/3 of that amount of money if he went to Mexico. Right? So the point I'm making is that there are countries close to us who can provide services at a cheaper cost than we can provide here in the English-speaking Caribbean. So if we expect in a hospital to attract people from those countries, we have to think again. So the whole issue of saying that NHI will be used to finance our hospital, to me, is a no-brainer, because if somebody starts shopping around for healthcare, they'll discover that the cost, because somebody did a costing as to what services would be in a new hospital, and we would not be competitive. Tourists fly to Colombia. When I was there, I met Americans who came to Colombia to get healthcare service. So people know about it.
So
right?
what you're telling me here, Stan, is this, what and inadvertently, because I didn't even ask you about the competition that Project Polaris, or what they are now calling the government is now calling it the General Hospital. The Project Polaris is still there, but they're saying that General Hospital is now the thing at Wester Hall. But what you were saying to me is that Colombia and so, which are basically a stone's throw away from Grenada, is just that is where we had to pass to go there. We are that is what the problem
Look,
is.
when we reviewed it, there are two options. You can go to the United States, or you can go to Trinidad, Panama.
Okay.
So if you use the Trinidad route, anybody can go. Yes.
Right.
It's
Well,
longer,
yeah,
but
longer, but yeah. But Stan, you are giving the health tourism based on what you're saying. You are giving health tourism competition that basically listening to the government. I was thinking that, hey, we on a good plateau, we in a good plane to work here with.
No,
but
we're not.
now you're telling me that there are prices that can be found in Mexico, in Colombia, that is what 1/3 of the price that can be found right there in Trinidad.
Well, I've been listening to Mr. Gilchrist on your program, and he's been saying the same thing.
Yeah.
That you can get those costs in Colombia. I mean, at a lot cheaper rate than you would ever be able to get it in the Caribbean. I mean, I know for a fact Trinidad is next door. Trinidad has tertiary care, but it's expensive. People flying to the United States, it's expensive. Mexico, Colombia, they're built on they build the healthcare system on this, right? So
I remember, Stan, you telling me maybe about 10 years ago that I think it was after that same trip to Colombia, and you said the only problem that exists in relation to getting healthcare from Colombia is the language barrier.
Well, you see, in fact, one of the directors of the hospital said to us that people do not know that every specialist in Colombia speaks English, unlike the Cubans. And like I said, I've been to the hospitals, and every one of those guys there speaks English. So because we hear Colombia, we hear Spanish.
Yeah.
But when you get there, you're cared for and you're spoken to in English. So that's why a lot of Americans go there. because they speak the language. So Colombia, the negative about Colombia with cocaine, etc., that's what kind of turns people away. But as far as healthcare is concerned, Colombia has one of the best network of doctors, specialists in every. Andrew, I went to a facility in Colombia for the mentally ill patients, and that hospital, the director told us the intention is to bring the mentally ill patients back to normal functioning. It's not like here when you reach the stage where people figure you're mentally ill, you get that injection that a lot of people tell you don't take.
Yeah.
Right? Once you take it, you're gone. There's no turning back. You become dependent on it. They don't do that. They do rehabilitation. And actually, I remember telling Dr. Mitchell, that's the former medical director, wouldn't it be so nice for people to be able to get back into society? Because it's a mental problem they have. And the Colombians have worked this down to a science where they can rehabilitate you. You stay in there for a number of months or years if needed, but it's to bring you back to be integrated into society. So I don't know what Project Polaris or the General Hospital will look like. I know what I've seen, right? And these guys have years of experience. There is a whole range of different hospitals for every category. People don't know, but one of the first operations that was done on the heart was done in Colombia. I went to that hospital. The first artificial heart was made in Colombia. They have it in the courtyard of that hospital. So this it might seem as though I'm promoting Colombia, but I know what I've seen, and I think we should really stop thinking that we will be able to offer
services to compete.
Yeah, I mean, you see, the thing is that in my view, there are certain services that we should not even try to compete in, right? We need healthcare is generally divided into three. There's primary care, secondary care, and tertiary care, right? Grenada has a primary care lockdown. Secondary care is hospitals. We have to upgrade our hospitals. Tertiary, I don't even think we should ever try to reach the stage where we can offer a transplant, kidney transplant. This is tertiary care. How many patients would we get to sustain a unit that's doing a transplant? I mean, it will be more economical to fly that person out to get care. So that's what we were planning. That's what we were doing when we were developing the NHI in Grenada, lining up the tertiary care overseas, right? So that when somebody needs the care, he or she is flown out, gets the care, and
but covered by an NHI.
Covered by NHI, because it would not be expensive. It would not be that expensive. Because I'm saying again, NHI in Grenada without overseas care would be useless. You still have to have the motorcades on Saturdays to raise the money. And the question is, because NHI would have a limited amount of benefits, and that's what people fail to realize, that NHI doesn't cover everything. There is what is called a basket of services that's offered. Anything outside of that would have to be covered by making different arrangements, right?
So what are some of these items in the basket that are covered by NHI or should be covered?
All primary care services. So you go to doctor, you get medication, right? Then certain hospital services. So think about what's happening in the hospital, everything that's there. NHI should cover all of that. The difference is that it will be upgraded to the stage where the quality of service you're getting will be better, and we'll be doing expansion. So you're including things like diagnostics. Right now, maybe you might be able to get an MRI in the hospital. If you can't, if it's not available, you have to go and pay for it outside. NHI would be taking care of all your diagnostic services, right? So those are the things that you basically say your basket of services should be what is available in Grenada here, right, with some upgrades. And then as far as the tertiary care is concerned, we fly you out if you need care overseas. And like I said, we had draft MOUs with some of the hospitals that would take care of that. So if we look into finance the general hospital by using NHI, but we launch in NHI at the same time that we launched the hospital. I don't know if we'll have to give the hospital a IOU, because how NHI operates is that clients would have a choice of going to the public system or to the private system. Now, because you'll be lifting the standards in both. So for example, right now, a private doctor, you go to a private doctor, he has a stethoscope, a blood pressure check machine, and his prescription pad, right? Generally, that's what you find in a doctor's office. Maybe the hammer to knock your knee for a reflex, etc. But that's it. Now, if you go to a clinic, you will have to do the preliminaries, right, before you see the doctor. So the standards that have to be developed is that you ensure that the healthcare facilities will be able to do the triage, for example. You do everything that's needed to take the patient to the stage of seeing the doctor. And after he sees the doctor, he gets prescribed his medication prescribed. He can walk out and go to a pharmacy, collect his medication, and go home, right? Now, there will be some challenges in launching NHI because, like I said, we have a proliferation of private healthcare providers here, right? So if a client decides I'm going to go to Dr. X and not to the health center, right? The care in X and the health center should be parallel.
Parallel, yeah.
Right? So the client makes a choice. So if you bring the health centers that we upgraded, in fact, one of the recommendations made, Andre, was that because we have a whole lot of public facilities here, health facilities here, what should happen is that private doctors should be encouraged to operate from the public facility. Of course, he has to pay a fee. So he gets into the public facility, he has X-ray machines, he has the ECG machines, all of that is there. So when he cares for a patient, you don't have to give him a paper and send him to the coronage. He can do the preliminaries there. So instead of operating in a back office, the public doctors would come in maybe from 9 to 12, right? The private doctors can come in from 12 to 9 in the same facility. So in St. Mark, the private doctor in St. Mark moves in when the public doctor moves out. Remember, the client pays, he doesn't pay. Whoever gets care from, the level of care should be equal, right? So one of the models we proposed was to encourage private practitioners to use public facilities. Because have you been to a health center 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah.
What do you see there?
A couple of nurses hanging out.
Exactly.
Chatting.
Right. So if the facility is available, why not ask the doctors? Because you see, to qualify as someone who is under the NHI umbrella, your facility has to be lifted to a certain level, right? You can't just have a stethoscope, a pressure machine, and your prescription pad and say that you're a doctor and you're providing care. It's not enough, right? So these are the things these are the upgrades that's needed. And it's a practical thing because because the doctor, the private doctor, is being paid by NHI, he can afford to pay the government of Grenada for the use of the facility. So there's a revenue stream coming back in. So he's no longer paying $1,500 for an office that doesn't have any facility. He probably is now paying $2,000 for a facility that has everything that he needs to provide. So he works with
and would you say that at the same time he'd have to find his own nurses, or the nurses?
Of course, he would have his team. You'd have his team. So you have his
so the nurses who work there with the public, they are not obligated to work with him.
No, he works. What is basically going to happen is that his office is now in the health center.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that happens. So whatever he has there in his private office, well, like I said, there has to be certain upgrades. So very few doctors in Grenada have a nurse that you see when you get in. Very few. You go in there, he takes your pressure, the doctor or she takes your pressure, they test your sugar, they do everything for you, and then write a prescription. In fact, some doctors, as soon as you get there, the first thing they put on their desk is a prescription before they even do anything to you. All right? So NHI would have caused the healthcare delivery to improve because minimum standards would have been set so that doctors or practitioners would operate within those parameters. And like I said, it's a system that can work fine. But I maintain that enough work has been done on NHI in Grenada. We have sufficient information. The studies have been done. The documents are there.
And it works then?
It could work. You see, one of the critical things is financing, Andre.
All right, so here's what. You'll tell us about that because we'd have to take a break for a commercial break, and then we've got some news. So we'll take the commercial break. We've got news, and then we'll come back afterwards to find out, can NHI work? And what is the stalling factor at this particular point in time?
No problem.
All right. This is Real 91.9, 91.5, www.therealfmgrenada.com. My name is Andre Donald, speaking there with Stan Phillip. And we're having a little conversation this morning on the whole NHI situation. This is Real FM Radio. Stay with us.
Flow makes your next phone upgrade easy. Add postpaid to your internet plan and score a Samsung Galaxy for as low as $30 a month. It's the smartest way to an interest-free premium phone upgrade. Don't let anything stand between you and that new phone feeling. Step into your upgrade with confidence. Visit us in store and sign up today. We keep your rhythm flowing. Terms and conditions apply.
Come taste the tradition. Feel the rhythm.
Everywhere you turn, you see people smiling.
And food. This is an experience from the sound of the conch shell to firewood cooking. Enjoy the sights and the songs of Grenada's heritage drumming, dancing, and storytelling, which brings our culture to life. Mark the date, Friday, April 10th, from sunrise at 5 a.m. River Sally Salaka begins, and by 4 p.m., Salaka village comes alive with food, music, and culture. Bring the whole family and join the River Sally Salaka cultural experience, where food, music, and tradition comes together. River Sally Salaka, taste the culture, live the tradition.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Life isn't one size fits all. Take me, for example. I like my suits well fitted. Getting a loan should feel like buying a suit. That's why financing at Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is made to fit everyone. Introducing the Made to Fit loan, financing tailored to your needs. Get 100% financing to buy or build your home, purchase land, or get that brand new car. Plus, get up to $50,000 unsecured. And to make sure your loan fits, Co-op Bank is trimming your loan fees by 50% and covering 30% of your legal fees.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Don't adjust your life to fit a loan. Get a loan that fits your life. Visit us online or stop by any retail banking unit today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome home.
Real expression on 919. Real.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Welcome to the latest update of news as produced by Triple N. We'll have the details when we return.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Peter Joseph. Grenada is accelerating its transition to a sustainable energy future with the upcoming launch of the Solar for All program in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. The initiative, led by the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, is a flagship project designed to expand access to clean, renewable power and strengthen climate resilience across the islands. In the region, in Jamaica, 3 Colombian nationals are set to appear in court today following what police describe as the largest single cocaine seizure in Jamaica's history. The bust, valued at approximately $1.65 billion JMD, came after a coastal interception off Alligator Pond, Manchester on March 21st. Charged are Lucio Henry, 39, Aerith Lopez, 34, and Klein Sinclair, 22, all fishermen of Colombia. They face multiple charges including possession, dealing, importing, trafficking, conspiracy to traffic cocaine, and illegal entry. Reports say the Jamaica Defense Force intercepted a fishing vessel around 4:10 a.m. and discovered 99 knitted bags containing more than 2,400 parcels of cocaine, weighing over 6,000 pounds. The vessel and cargo were escorted to the JDF Coast Guard base in Kingston before being handed over to investigators. The men were interviewed on March 24 and formally charged on March 31st. And in sports, Grenada's under-20 men's relay team captured bronze in the 4x by 100 meters at the Carafta Games. Ian George, Daryl Daniel, Neon Mark Stanislaus, and Ethan Sam clocked 40.18 seconds, setting a new national under-20 record. Trinidad and Tobago took gold, Jamaica silver. This marks only the 4th time in history Grenada has medaled in this event, making the 2026 team part of an elite group. This ends the latest news update as produced by Triple N. Thanking you for joining us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
What is the current progress on implementing the National Health Insurance NHI? Additionally, when will the Ministry of Finance building be renovated so employees can return, helping to reduce government spending on rental properties?
All right, so I'll take the National Health Insurance question first. We are still very much in the design and concept stage of treating with the National Health Insurance, so I can't give a definitive date of when it will be implemented because you'd have to design, you will then have to consult, we will then have to pass legislation, we'll then have to agree on how it is to be funded, and we'll have to agree on what services are to be covered. We are working with a timeline in light of Project Polaris because we want to be in a position where the national health insurance can start by the time the new hospital comes online, because we want to be able to fund some of the services that the public will be able to access at the hospital via the national health insurance scheme. So that is where we are.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada.
Again, you heard there the voice of Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. We're going to go back to our friend Stan Phillip. Stan, you heard the Prime Minister again. And what the Prime Minister is saying, based on what I'm understanding, is that we have to do all the work that UE has done already. Is that what he's saying? Is that what you're getting?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting.
Say again?
That's what I'm hearing.
That's what you're hearing. Mm-hmm. No, there's somebody called Dorcas Sylvester, and I want to read a comment or two comments that person would have made, trying to get the context. But one comment was made just after you spoke about how it would have been the private doctors would have been able to use the medical station for their private offices. Is that what it is, Stan?
Yeah.
All right. So that person said, joke you're making, these private doctors ain't doing that. That's one statement. And then they made another statement. NHI is not supposed to do that. NHI have its specific role to play. They know it, and the people of Grenada knows it as well. What is that specific role you think that this person is speaking of?
Well, I don't know what he's talking about. The thing is, if he's suggesting that I was saying that NHI would engage private doctors, that's not what I was saying. I'm saying NHI would set certain standards for doctors, right? And doctors would have to qualify to be identified as an approved provider.
Yeah.
And one of the ways they can satisfy that is by using established clinics, right? You can't force them to do it. If you say to a doctor, to be listed as an approved provider, you have to have XYZ in your clinic. He can go out and buy it. It's no problem. He put it in his clinic and use it. You're not forcing any doctor to go in, but I'm saying one of the models suggested was that you can offer, the Ministry of Health, Government of Grenada can offer those facilities that lay idle for most of the day to providers. So they move in and they use the facilities, they pay for it. They're paying rent where they are anyhow. But the question is whether or not they'll be able to upgrade to the level that they need to. That's up to them. But as to the specifics for NHI, yes, NHI have a specific role, right? Which is basically to organize the financing of healthcare by building a framework where contributions are collected and payments are made to providers. That's basically what you do as an NHI, right? So the monies that NHI will be working with would come from different sources. And we made some recommendations with regard to funding, right? One of the main funding options is that government has to increase the annual budget allocation for health, right? That must be one of the cornerstones for NHI. So government must be in a position to say, okay, right now, I'm probably allocating 5%. I should increase it to 10. I'm just using numbers.
Yeah.
Right? Then there has to be other supporting financial mechanisms. One of the recommendations made was to stay away from what is called the monthly deductions from payroll deductions. The established workers, that's what's done in the BVI. It's payroll deductions. The disadvantage of that is that the sector, right? The organized work sector gets a salary, but there are a number of people who get paid and they don't get a salary, a monthly salary, right? They work, they go to a construction site, and at the end of the week, the month, the contractor pays them for the work, or it's transferred to their bank account. Who's going to make the deduction, right? So for the informal sector, it's difficult to use payroll deductions. So the recommendation was that we introduce what is called a health levy, something similar to that, right? So everybody who makes a purchase makes a contribution, right?
And that is the payment method for everybody.
For everybody. You probably also may have to tweak the VAT. Look at the VAT closely and say, okay, out of the 15% that we're collecting, can we squeeze a 1% and send that to NHI? Instead of, when lottery says for sports, culture, and nation building, can we use the nation building section of that and send some monies across to NHI? There is the so-called sin taxes on alcohol and these sort of things. Can we redirect those to NHI? So there are a number of different options that can be used to fund NHI, right? But what we have to guard against.
But you realize, Stan, that there'll be a lot of people who would escape that. Those who are gambling, they ain't paying anything. Who are not gambling, they ain't paying anything. Those who not drinking, those who are not drinking and smoking, they ain't paying anything.
Right.
And those who do not purchase most of their food items locally, then they ain't paying anything. Their clothing too, they don't purchase it locally, so they don't pay. It's going to leave a loophole for some people, doesn't it?
Yeah, there are some people who escape the net, but I'm saying limiting to payroll, a lot more people would escape, right? The man who's begging on the side of the street, when you give him $10, he won't eat the $10, he'll spend the $10, and a portion of the $10 goes towards healthcare. Now, the whole question as to whether or not we should burden the established workers by using payroll deductions.
But that's me paying twice, Stan.
Yeah.
I'm the one who gave him the $10.
Yeah.
So I'm paying through him, and I'm the one still have to do something. So I'm paying twice. So you're killing me, actually.
No, you're paying for yourself, and he's paying for himself.
Okay.
So you see, because NHI is a compulsory, or should be a compulsory program, every Grenadian should be a part of NHI. It should not be optional. It cannot be optional. So Andrew may say to me, listen, I have my private insurance, right? And my private insurance takes care of my needs when I want it. So I'm already paying $110 a month for my private insurance, so I'm not going to make any contributions to NHI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my answer to you is this. Yes, you're paying $110 a month, but your private insurance gives you secondary care, not primary care. A number of private health insurance plans excludes primary care. So if you go to a doctor, you pay for your doctor. You buy your medication, right? If you need a surgery, then you can go to them. Existing health insurance plans, that's what they do. They're dropping off the primary care. So I'm paying NHI for you, because when you go to a doctor and you go to the private clinic, you don't pay. I'm paying. You can only claim on your insurance when you go to a specialist, or you need secondary care or tertiary care. So you see, it's the whole question of insurance is that the many make contributions, right? So that the few can benefit. Okay, so you spread the risks over a large number of people, and that's why NHI contributions generally are much smaller than private health insurance contributions, right? So the funding question is one that has to be really nailed down. Now, what you offer would depend heavily on what you have. So you have to balance your fund against your payouts, right? Now, in the United Kingdom, the NHIS, I think it's called, is finding themselves with some issues with regard to balancing the income and the expenditure as far as health is concerned. So we can look to those countries that have been challenges and tailor our things accordingly. NHI cannot offer everything, and it won't offer everything, right? There are some cases that NHI would not be able to cover. And that's why the state comes in. In the BVI, those people who would not qualify for NHI is now taken care of by the state. So the state pays two sides. They make their contributions, but at the same time, somebody needs a triple heart transplant, right? And that's why when I say that having relationship with specialized healthcare providers can help to bridge that gap. In the BVI, they send them to the United States, and that might cost maybe $200,000. That's going to bust any program. If you can send that person to Colombia and pay $50,000, you have a buffer. So the funding of NHI would be dependent on the benefits you offer, right? So we have to, one of the first things that you'll need to do is to come up with your basket of services. What benefits do you want to provide? Do a costing and say, okay, that's how much it costs. That's how much you need to collect. We did that. We have already done that.
Yeah. So the big question is, Stan, and I guess this is what everyone wants to know. What is the present administration's call with NHI as it relates to Grenada's Project Polaris?
Well, Andre, I'm baffled because I don't think this administration is serious about doing NHI. Not at this time. Because they have an opportunity, or they have opportunities to do it. They have not engaged the people who know what's happening. In fact, I offered my services. I used to be involved with NHI in the past. After 2022, I was unceremoniously kicked out. And I remember offering to the PS and to the Minister of Health at the time, Mr. Lacret. I offered my services, not to work, but to give a comprehensive outlay of where we are, to say that's where we are at this time, and this is what would need to be done. They're both rejected, right? No, you cannot tell me that you're serious about NHI, and the persons who have been there from 1995, every consultant that came to Grenada from then to now, well, up to 2022, I sat with them. I have the report.
Probably Stan, they realizing, hold on, if this guy's been there from 95 to now and nothing has happened, we don't need him. He doesn't know what he's doing.
You see, the thing is that, when we went to I think it was the Bahamas, they were just about to launch NHI. I remember the Prime Minister, it was myself and Honorable Emin Peer, we made that trip. And he said to us, we are aware that NHI would only work if there's a political will. Right? I hope I answer your question. If I'm a consultant, I'm making recommendations to you, and you're not prepared to take the next step, then you can't blame me. So I could be there from year one. If the recommendations made is not acted upon, then it doesn't work. I remember there's a guy from Paho. He came to Grenada and he called me. He said, Mr. Phillip, I want to meet with you outside of the ministry. And he posed this question to me: why is NHI not launched in Grenada? And I said to him, I said, you're asking the wrong question. You're asking the wrong person. You're asking the wrong person. You see, sometimes politicians try to second guess their constituency. And one of the mistakes that politicians make is that they figure, if we decide to launch NHI and tell people they have to contribute, people will see it as another tax, and we will become unpopular as a government. I remember when we were doing the consultations, one person stood up and said, what you guys need to do is to break down this thing to us. If at the end of the month, I am paying $150 for NHI, and I'm saying it's a lot of money, you should ask me, if I go to do an MRI or CT scan, how much is it? How much is it costing? The context the person who's asking the question is that if you can show the average Grenadian that the little that you're contributing towards national health insurance is just a little compared to what your healthcare would cost, right? They would understand it. And I think that's a mistake that a number of politicians are making, that they want to second guess first, saying that we won't want that because we'll figure it's an additional tax. Nowhere in the world is national health insurance free. There must be contribution.
You spoke of Dominica. Is it existing in Dominica?
No. We Grenada, apart from Turks and Caicos, BVI, and Bahamas, Grenada is the closest to NHI. Dominica didn't get far with theirs, right? Like I said, it all depends on where it's driven from, right? If you have a minister of health that is sensitive to people's health needs and is passionate about that, he would push to ensure that NHI is launched. You have a government that speaks about healthcare and is not looking down the road as to how that can be improved, and he does nothing about NHI, he's not serious. And I'm saying this administration, unfortunately, is proven to us that they're not really interested in improving our healthcare, because there's no way you can improve healthcare in Grenada if you do not address the issues of financing healthcare. And NHI is one of the models that can be used or is being used to finance healthcare. So when we get this thing about going back and do what we do and do, I mean, these are just kicking the can down the road, right? And it's very possible, Andre, that they have come to realize that they would have to give credit to certain people if they decide to go a certain route, so they prefer not to give credit and don't go that route.
All right, so I was going to get to that, Stan, because I get the feeling that every time that there is something to be done, it may get done if the new National Party had nothing to do with it. If the new National Party had anything to do with it, with this present administration, it doesn't get done. So are you saying to me here, Stan Phillip, that one of the reasons why there's no serious focus on NHI is because the new National Party had to do with NHI, and now the National Democratic Congress does not want to have anything to do? Is that the feeling you get? Yes or no?
I'll answer you this way.
No, answer me the correct way, please.
No, I'm answering the correct way, but
Thank you.
I would not say, you see, it's not a yes or no. I'm going to answer, you're going to get the answer. For this administration to take from where the last administration left off and launch NHI, they'll have to acknowledge that the last administration did a lot. They'll have to acknowledge that the last administration basically had everything set up to launch NHI. And in my opinion, they're not prepared at this stage to acknowledge, right, that this was done. There are tons and tons and tons of papers, reports. Listen, NHI can be launched in June. It begins with registration. That's where you begin. It can be launched in June. With regard to governance, we didn't talk about governance. When we did the papers, they gave 3 options on governance. In essence, what I'm saying is, who will run NHI? In the BVI, it's run by the NIS. There are 2 departments, one dealing with Social Security, one dealing with National Health Insurance. So there are 2 deputy directors, one responsible exclusively for NHI, the other for NIS, Social Security. There was a Dr. McCullough who came to Grenada to do an overview of the legislation. By the way, one of the things that the Minister of Health said is that they have to do legislation. Currently, we have 2 draft NHI legislation. 2. One was done by UE, the other was done by Dr. McCullough. Everything is there. What needs to be done? Taken to cabinet. Cabinet says fine. The law is passed. It was paid for by the EU. I worked with Dr. McCullough on that. Dr. McCullough suggested that we do not go the BVI route. In fact, BVI is trying to roll back on that route and set up a separate entity for NHI. And I've always been saying that's the best route to go. But he gave his legal opinion why we should go with a separate institution. And that's when the minister talked about the engaging NIB. I don't want people to figure that I'm against the NIB, right?
What is the NIB again? Say so.
National Insurance Board, or NIS,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? They were given an opportunity. They had it, Andre, in their hands. I remember when you were looking for a place for this NHI secretariat, I identified to the director. I said, look, you have a place up in your old building where NIS used to be. This, to me, is the best place to put your secretariat. So by the time you're through with the UE work, you roll right into NHI. They said, no. They gave a little space downstairs, renovated the space downstairs. The secretariat was there. As soon as the secretariat was closed, they rented it out to somebody else, right? So the whole question of whether or not you want to put NIS, NHI on the NIS, I mean, if the powers that be want to do it, they do it. But in my view, they had an opportunity and they squandered it, so don't give it back to them. But the reason why Dr. McCullough said it should not be on the NIS is because we're talking about healthcare. We're talking about professional services, tertiary services, high-level operations, etc. And he was saying, if somebody sues a doctor, right, and the NHI, and they're under the NIS, the bigger pocket is the one that people will be going after. So he's saying that by putting it under the National Insurance Scheme or National Insurance Board, you're exposing that entity in the event that there's a lawsuit, a claim on the NIS and the NHI, right? So that's one of the reasons why. Secondly, people may not want to agree with me, but NHI will be bigger than NIS. Let me say it again. NHI would be bigger than NIS.
Explain that.
NIS currently deals with workers, right?
Yeah.
NHI deals with every Grenadian. Every Grenadian. Whether you're working age, you're a child, you're an adult, you're aged, every person. So your client base is much, much, much wider, right? The contributions that will be coming in eventually would be much higher than what NIS is collecting. So you're creating an animal that is going to, so you're a baby, and you're going to go bigger than your mother. So to prevent it, just let the entity be a standalone entity. In addition to that, NS have the challenges right now. I mean, people don't talk about it much, but there's a serious problem with regard to contributions and payouts. We know that. There are gradual increases in contributions to try to make up, because the entity, if action was not taken, that entity could have gone bust. Why do you want to put a new organization with an entity that's struggling to recover? And the reason why they are where they are is because bad decisions were made. That's another topic altogether, right? So the long and the short is that as far as governance is concerned, the recommendation made by Dr. Makala was that it be a separate entity, right? I mean, and I support that. It can work on the other side, but there are potential problems down the road. So once you settle the governance issue, the whole issue of legislation, like I said, there are 2 pieces of legislation sitting already done, drafted. So when the minister talk about legislative drafting, that's already done, paid for by the EU. It is there, Andrew. So a lot of things that have to be, right now, the 3 things that have to be done, the governance issue, settle that, because in order to pass legislation, you must settle the governance issue. 2, the methods of contributions, and what's the third one? 3, the benefit package. That's why I said, if we want to launch NHI in June, we can do it. Settle those 3 issues and launch. You begin with registration, probably take 6 months to register everybody. By then, you'll have a framework. So if you say a go live date is January 1, 2027, you're ready to go live. So that's why I see it, my friend.
Is there a role for artificial intelligence, you think, in Project Polaris? And how does that contribute to improve health outcomes? And how would that relate to the coming into being of NHI?
Remember, Project Polaris has many arms. The General Hospital is one arm.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's spoken of often is the other arm, the building of
the hotel,
etc. So all that is part of Project Polaris. So,
but no, these days, Stan, it is, there's a lot of focus on the General Hospital, and that was something I was not hearing about before. But it seems, I wouldn't say they've scaled it down, but they've sort of renamed part of the project as the General Hospital.
So you see, when you say Project Polaris, I'm saying Project Polaris has different arms.
So I should be saying the General Hospital, but you see, they have me confused, confuffled.
Yeah, well, there's room for AI and those technological inputs. Telemedicine is one of the big things where you don't have to have a specialist in Grenada. He can be wherever he is and does diagnostics.
Do we practice telemedicine in Grenada right now?
I don't know, but one of the a couple days ago, I was reading one of the proposals from one of the hospitals out of Colombia, and that's something that they were offering.
Because I asked this question on the premise that I did hear the Honorable Clarice Modeste. I did hear her speak to telemedicine on more than one occasion, and I don't remember if she spoke that it wasn't in play or it was something that can be done, but I did remember her speaking to it.
You see, you have to have on the other end, I'm saying on the other end, on our end, you're supposed to have the facilities, right, to do telemedicine. So on one end, it is executed, but on our end, you have to have the facilities. So the high-tech equipment have to be there and all of that. So I don't know. I know, like I said, one of the hospitals out of Colombia did propose, that was one of the proposals, to get involved in telemedicine. So because you see what that does is that instead of you have a specialist come into Grenada to see one patient, he can see where he is, schedule it, does the operation or the diagnostics or whatever from where he is, right? So there's room for that in a new general hospital. So can I ask you a question?
You want to ask me a question?
Yeah, because I asked somebody else and they could answer. So maybe you don't need to answer. What happens to our general hospital?
Remember, I'm not front of the class, eh?
Well, I should have told you that we should have pull two chairs at the front and invite the two persons that we heard to come and sit in front.
But
Anyway, anyway, what happens to a general hospital?
When you say what happens to
the current general hospital, what will happen to it in 3 years? If the new hospital is going to be launched in 3 years, would that replace our current general hospital?
Yes.
Or would the current, wait, hold on.
No, yes, it will.
Or would the current general hospital be a public hospital and the new hospital be a private hospital?
It will replace.
To replace it.
And then we'll sell the area for a hotel.
Okay, all right. Okay. You see, public in BVI and in Turks and Caicos, the hospitals are statutorized, right? So it's its own entity. But the governments in those both countries have allowed it to operate as a entity on its own. So the doctors and the nurses there are not employed with the BVI, Ministry of Health. They're employed by People's, I think that's the name of the hospital. That's the employer, sorry. Right? So the model is that your healthcare workers, current healthcare workers in the general hospital, would have to transition, because we're talking about statutorizing the current hospital, right? The reason why I asked you that is because once in 2 years' time, this entity will be no more. The new entity will be that general hospital.
But that's what I said. It'll be sold.
Yeah,
property will be sold.
Yeah, but I'm talking. So, which would be either? Would it be a private hospital? The new one. Would it be a private hospital or a public hospital?
It's a hospital. I can't give you which P it will be.
Okay, it's important because you see, in BVI and Turks and Caicos, it is a health entity statutorized. So it was public, it became a statutory body on its own. What I mean about public, about this one, it seems to me it's a private general hospital we have. I don't know if
but what is a private general hospital, Stan?
Well, I don't know. That's my confusion, because it is not owned by the government of Grenada. So if it's not owned by the government of Grenada, it's not public. It's private.
Well, I have something to do tomorrow, God's will, which speaks to that somewhat, because I have something to do tomorrow that will speak to land ownership and stuff. And as somebody who's been involved in insurance and Stan, quickly, let me ask you this. If I own a piece of land and you build on the land, who does the property belong to?
The property belongs to the person who built it.
Who built it?
Mm-hmm.
But the land is mine.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
So what do I...
There are people in Grenada who have houses on lands that doesn't belong to them.
So what happens when the owner of the land comes around?
Well, that's a good question. I think the law recognizes that the landowner can have first claim to the property.
The landowner can do what, Stan? Just say it clearer.
First claim to the property.
First claim to the property. The landowner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the landowner can tell you move your property from my land.
But how the hell are they going to move the hospital, Stan?
Exactly. So I'm saying the landowner has intrinsic rights right? The landowner can claim the property. And the state might say, or the court might say, all the landowner has to do is to pay you for the property and take it.
The other thing, dude,
So he
these
pays
days,
you.
man, these
You
days,
build your house on my land.
Nawasa is very how should I say, proper, prim and proper these days. So they don't give you water if you don't have ownership to the land, or if you don't have permission from the owner of the land to put water on the land. Correct?
Yeah, and they're right.
Okay, so if that is so, Stan, I wonder what will happen if we discover that the land where the hospital is to be built does not belong to the nation.
Well, the thing is, any financer, right? Anybody who's financing a project would want to know that their investment is secure. So they would not, or they should not, give you monies to build if you do not have either a lease or title.
Okay.
So look out lease, right? So if the landowner leases the land to the builder, then they have interest, right? So it is very possible that the owners of the land would extend the lease to the builders of the property. So that's an angle you should look at. Once it's leased, it's not a problem, because you see, financiers would want to know, in the event that something happens, they can recover or take possession of the property that's built, right? So permission has to be given. So maybe a lease is being executed or has been executed so that the builders of the property can show interest. I mean, I hear you about your program tomorrow, and I'll be listening with interest, because I've been picking up some things on the side with regard to not just ownership, but who paid for the property. I don't want to bust a bubble, because that's something that you should tell us. If the property is owned by X but paid for by Y, why is Y paying for X's property?
Well, Stan, it's not rocket science, and it probably will cause more people to listen tomorrow. But it's not rocket science that the government of Grenada are paying for the property, but the property doesn't belong to the government of Grenada. It's not rocket science. That is there. That's already established. So we'll find out more about that tomorrow, God's will. Yeah, if you know something about it, you can help. You can help us.
No,
if
but
you know.
I don't know. It's
Bubble
confusing me.
busting. I'm not one who has an inflated ego like that. If you know something, say it.
No, what confuses me, Andrew, is that what I'm seeing is that a property is paid for by the government of Grenada, both in cash and by bonds. The question is, does the property belong to the government of Grenada? Now, the government of Grenada can register a company that's owned by the government of Grenada and purchase property under the company's name.
That's correct.
Was that the case? That's what we need to find out.
If you want to find out, then people want to find out, they can listen tomorrow, God's will. We'll find that out.
Yes,
I'm still trying to do so and understand that.
Yes, so these are questions that need to be answered.
I know that government can make a company and they can purchase lands or whatever, purchase property through a company. That is all right.
Yeah.
That is all right. There's not, but whose name is the company in? Is it in the government of Grenada's name, or does it carry Stan Phillip?
Well, you see, the interesting thing is, Andre, when a company is registered, oftentimes what you'll see in CAIPO is directors, right? Now, what should accompany the directors is the shareholdings. A lot of companies do not file their shareholders. They just register directors, right? So what will have to be found out is whether or not the shareholders of the company, or the shareholder, not owner, it has to be one, is the government of Grenada. So if the government of Grenada owns that company, then there's no issue, right? But if the government of Grenada does not own that company, there's a big issue. Who owns it? And what gives them the right to own it after your money and my bond paid for the land?
Yeah.
But I guess we'll hear tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, God's willing. I hope that folks will join me. I try to make it, as they say, make it very snappy within the time, within the 7:30 to 9 o'clock slot. I'll try to make it very snappy there, because I think we deserve a lot of clarity as it relates to Project Polaris and why the we were given 250 million, Stan, by the Afro-Exim Bank.
I'm not hearing about that, Andrew.
Where's that, Stan?
I'm not hearing about that. I'm not hearing about that.
And then we're being told right now that we are at 186 million. Well, bloody hell, where is the 260 or 250 million that was given to us by the Afro-Exim Bank?
So these are questions that need to be.
We need to find that out.
Yeah,
And
because
then,
I'm not hearing.
and then you need to tell me, why is it that $100 million that was supposed to be given by what, the Saudi government? I was supposed to do with development of the Carnage.
Just repurposed.
Yeah, and it was repurposed. I'd love to have you on the program tomorrow, so we can knock heads still, Stan. Are you on vacation again tomorrow, or just today?
I'm not on vacation. I just decided to speak to you from home today.
Well, you probably can speak to me again from home tomorrow, because it wouldn't be for all this time. It will be up until about 9 o'clock. So you probably speak to me again from home tomorrow morning. It'd be nice to have you as my guest.
Thanks for the invitation.
Or my co-host, because there are things I may want you to clarify for me as it relates to land ownership and stuff like that. And Stan, I'm hearing something which is kind of a baffling. This one I really need to find out. Where did the what do you call it? The Grenada Distillers Company. They're the ones who initially owned the land, correct?
Yeah, they're the owners of the land.
Where did they get the land, Stan?
Well, I mean, this is just one parcel of lands. They have a lot of lands. I mean, I got some.
Where did they get that particular?
I got some information that they acquired a whole set of lands, right? I mean, when I say acquired, they became in possession of a whole lot of lands, right? I don't know where it came from.
But this particular plot of these 80-something acres, where did they get it from?
I don't know.
That is something I'd really and truly love to know.
But you see, also, the directors of that company seem to also be the directors of the seller, the real estate company that's selling the land.
Stan, the important thing I say to folks is that listen tomorrow morning. Stan may have some ideas, I may have some new ideas, but I'd really love to know, where did they get those lands from? And because, Stan, I don't know if I'm correct here, but did the Honorable George Brizan at any time give that particular company lands because they wanted them to produce more cane? So they gave them those lands at rock bottom price? Maybe
I think they got a sweet deal. I think I remember they got that company got a sweet deal, because
was it the same NDC that gave them that sweet deal? Was it the same NDC administration that gave them that sweet deal? And now the same NDC administration is purchasing the land that they got as a sweet deal is it true that they have now sold this land back to the government that gave them for a sweet deal for millions of dollars, Stan? Is that true?
Well, you know, interestingly, Andre, I mean, I can't answer to this, but it's not strange to me because I remember that when this present government was selling properties, salaries, etc. At the time, I was a director on the National Housing Authority. We own, when I say we, National Housing Authority owned the land down in Grenada. That's Sandino plant. That was owned by the National Housing Authority.
Yeah, in the valley there?
The government, NDC government, NDC government got the National Housing Authority to sign over the lands to the government of Grenada. All right? The Sandino plan was signed over to the government of Grenada. The government of Grenada, NDC government, then sold it to the NIS. Okay? Because they wanted money. And the National Housing Authority is currently paying rent to the National Insurance Scheme for the land. So it was my land. You tell me to give it to you. I gave it to you. You sold it to NIS, and NIS is telling us.
I'm paying rent for it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Let's
see.
I'm saying that to see. I'm saying that to say that I would not be surprised that there are some things, but I know for a fact that the Grenada distillers, whatever the name, got some very concessionary deals for lands. That's why they ended up with so many lands, and the thing is, the number of shareholders for that company dramatically reduced. So it ended up in the hands of a few people. But that again is another issue. But
yes,
anyway,
let's see what we find out tomorrow morning, Godzilla. I'm still doing a bit of research, and let's see what I can find out, and see what I can toss at you, and what you can decipher. Decipher for us. Stan, thanks again for a wonderful morning, my brother, and do enjoy the rest of the day. Are you going into thing today?
What thing?
Into office today.
I have to spend a coin. If I'm home at 12, no, I won't go because
I was about to spend the coin for you, Stan.
The thing is that if I don't go in office at 12, Andre, I don't feel that if I go after 12, I can't perform. I might as well walk in.
Here's what. It's simple. Heads I win, tails you lose. Okay.
Okay.
So based on if you lose, then you go to the office. Okay. Okay, are you looking at me spinning the coin?
Where is it facing now? Head or tail?
This is it. Tails. So it's tail, the tail. So heads I win, tails you lose, okay?
Okay. All right.
So I'm gonna spin it up. It's still tails. Can I catch it? Can I catch it, or should I let it drop?
Let it drop.
All right. So heads I win, tails you lose. It's on tails.
So
you lose.
So I have to stay home.
Yeah, you go to office. Go to the office.
Okay, so I'll go before 12 and leave at 12. So at least I win eventually.
Stan, did you hear what I said to you?
I heard you, but
what did I say? What did I say, Stan?
That I have to go to office.
No. What did I say? What was the bet?
Heads.
I win.
Tails. So I could never win then. Oh boy.
How can you win, Stan? Come on. Heads I win, tails you lose.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so you never had a chance.
I never had a chance.
Hey bro, take care. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful one. Okay, great. It's real. It's 91.9, 91.5, www.drealfmgrenada.com. Broadcasting from studios located Main Street, Satyrs, right here inside a beautiful historical St. Patrick. My name, Andre Donald, and I thank you so very much, all you lovely people, for being a part of the program this morning. And here's hoping that you're able to join us again tomorrow morning, God's will, for another program. It is going to be Political Wednesday on tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th day of April 2026. Goodbye. God bless you, and take good care. The news is at the top of the hour.
No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe, just the raw truth.
Flow makes your next phone upgrade easy. Add postpaid to your internet plan and score a Samsung Galaxy for as low as $30 a month. It's the smartest way to an interest-free premium phone upgrade. Don't let anything stand between you and that new phone feeling. Step into your upgrade with confidence. Visit us in store and sign up today. We keep your rhythm flowing. Terms and conditions apply.
Come taste the tradition. Feel the rhythm.
Everywhere you turn, you see people smiling.
And celebrate the culture.
We don't see no green and red.
At Riverside Salaka, this is more than food. This is an experience. From the sound of the conch shell to firewood cooking. Enjoy the sights and the songs of Grenada's heritage drumming, dancing, and storytelling, which brings our culture to life. Mark the date, Friday, April 10th, from sunrise at 5 a.m. Riverside Salaka begins, and by 4 p.m., Salaka village comes alive with food, music, and culture. Bring the whole family and join the Riverside Salaka cultural experience, where food, music, and tradition comes together. Riverside Salaka, taste the culture, live the tradition.
Sunday, April 19, all roads lead to Progress Park in St. Andrew as Cash Frenzy presents Rides and Rolls. You can win 2 Suzuki Ignis, 2 cars, and $50,000 rolls of cash. Your ticket $60 for one, $100 for two. Bingo time 5 p.m. So get there early. Your DJs, DJ Taz, DJ John Boy, and hosted by Shortleg. All taking place at Progress Park in St. Andrew. $50,000 cash and 2 Suzuki Ignis. Sunday, April 19th. Progress Park in St. Andrew. Come win yourself some cash and drive in fine style.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Angel's Beauty Salon and Barbershop, Bruce Street Mall, St. George's, your one-stop destination for all things beauty. Hair services, relaxes, waves, treatments, braids, cornrows, natural hairstyles, locks and lock installation, wig installation, nail services, acrylic nails, gel nails, pedicures, and more. Call or WhatsApp us today, 1473-403-4421 to book your appointment today.
Life isn't one size fits all. Take me, for example. I like my suits well fitted. Getting a loan should feel like buying a suit. That's why financing at Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is made to fit everyone. Introducing the Made to Fit loan, financing tailored to your needs. Get 100% financing to buy or build your home, purchase land, or get that brand new car. Plus, get up to $50,000 unsecured. And to make sure your loan fits, Co-op Bank is trimming your loan fees by 50% and covering 30% of your legal fees.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Don't adjust your life to fit a loan. Get a loan that fits your life. Visit us online or stop by any retail banking unit today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome home.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Woo! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free read. On the radio see. No sugar coated.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.